Krishna, Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guru Gauranga.
God Hari Hari Bol.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutirti Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naisti Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, text number 56 and 57. Ayam hi sutta sampannaha Shīlavrutta gunālayaha Dhutavrto mrudurdantaha Satyavang mantra vichuchihi Gurvagnya tithi vriddhanam Shushushar anhankritaha Sarvabhuta sursadhur Mitavaga anasuyakaha Ayam hi sutta sampannaha Shīlavrutta gunālayaha Dhutavrto mrudurdantaha Satyavang mantra vishichuji Gurvagnya tithi vriddhanam Shushushar anankaraha Shushushur anankrutaha Sarvabhuta surutsadhur Mitavaga anasuyakaha Ayam hi sutta sampannaha Shīlavrutta gunālayaha Dhutavrto mrudurdantaha Satyavang mantra vichuchihi Gurvagnya atithi vriddhanam Shushushar anankrutaha Sarvabhuta surutsadhur Mitavaga anasuyakaha
Ayam hi sutta sampannaha Shīlavrutta gunālayaha Dhutavrto mrudurdantaha Satyavān mantra vichuchi Gurva agni aditi viddhanam Shushur anankarita Sarvabhuta suritsadhur Mitavaga anasuyakaha Ayam hi sutta sampanna Shīlavrutta gunālayaha Dhutavrto mrudurdanta Satyavān mantra vichuchi गुरुभग्नि अतिथि वृद्धानां
दुर्भग्य अतिथि विद्यानां
शुश्रूषुर् अनहङ्कृत
अनहंकृतः
सर्वभूत सुहृत् साधु
सर्वभूतासुहृत्साधु
मितवाग अनसूयत
मित्रभाग अनुसूयतः
I am
अयं
this person
this person
known as Ajamila.
known as Jamila.
He
He
indeed
is
Sudha Sampannaha,
Sampannaha,
well educated in Vedic knowledge.
well educated in Vedic knowledge.
Sheela,
Sheila
of good character.
of good character.
Vritta,
Vritta
good conduct.
good conduct.
Guna,
Guna
and good quality.
and good qualities.
Adaya,
Alaya
the reservoir.
the reservoir.
Dhutavrittaha,
Dhritavrittaha
fixed in education of Vedic injunctions.
fixed in education of the Vedic injunctions.
Buddhu,
Viduhu
very mild.
very mild.
Dantaha,
Dhanataha
completely controlling the mind and senses.
completely controlling the mind and senses.
Satyavak,
Satyavak
always truthful.
always truthful.
Mantravid,
Mantravid
knowing how to chant the Vedic hymns.
knowing how to chant the Vedic hymns.
Suchihi,
She
always very neat and clean. Guru,
Guru
the spiritual master.
the spiritual master.
Agni,
Agni
the fire god.
the fire god.
Atithi,
Atithi
guest.
guest.
Vriddhanam,
Dhanana
and of the old household members.
and of the old household members.
Shushrushuru,
Shushushuru
very respectfully engaged in the service.
very respectfully engaged in the service.
Anhankritaha,
Anahamitraha
without pride
without pride
or false prestige.
or false prestige.
Sarvabhuta Surut,
Sarvabhuta Surat,
friendly to all living entities.
friendly to all living entities.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
well behaved.
well behaved.
No one could find any faults in his character.
No one could find any fault in his character.
Mitavak,
Mitavaka,
talking with great care,
talking with great care,
not to speak nonsense.
not to speak nonsense.
Anusuyakaha,
Anusuyataha,
not envious.
not envious.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the beginning, this Brahmana named Ajamila studied all the Vedic literatures. He was a reservoir for all good character, good conduct, and good qualities. Firmly established in executing all Vedic injunctions, he was very mild and gentle, and he kept his mind and senses under control. Furthermore, he was always truthful. He knew how to chant the Vedic mantras, and he was also very pure. Ajamil was very respectful to his spiritual master, the fire god, guests, and elderly members of his household. Indeed, he was free from false prestige. He was upright, benevolent to all living entities, and well behaved. He would never speak nonsense or envy anyone. Purport. The order carriers of Yamraj, the Yamdutas, are explaining the factual position of piety and impiety and how a living entity is entangled in this material world. Describing the history of life, Ajamil's life, the Yamdutas relate that In the beginning, he was a learned scholar of Vedic literature. He was well behaved, neat and clean, and very kind to everyone. In fact, he had all good qualities. In other words, he was like a perfect Brahman. Brahmana is expected to be perfectly pious, follow all the regulatory principles, and to have all good qualities. The symptoms of piety are explained in these verses. Srila Viraraghav Acharya comments that Dhritavata means dharmam, sarjitam vratam, stri sangha, rahitya atmaka, brahmacharya rupam. In other words, Ajamila followed the rules and regulations of celibacy as a perfect brahmachari and was very soft-hearted, truthful, clean and pure. How he fell down in spite of all these qualities and thus came to be threatened with punishment by Yamraj will be described in the following verses. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं श्रीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा लवणगाश्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी भानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, text number 56-57. In the beginning, this Brahmana named Ajamila studied all the Vedic literatures. He was a reservoir for good character, good conduct, and good qualities. Firmly established in executing all the Vedic injunctions, he was very mild and gentle, and he kept his mind and senses under control. Furthermore, he was always truthful. He knew how to chant the Vedic mantras and he was also very pure. Ajamil was very respectful to his spiritual master, the fire god, guests, and elderly members of his household. Indeed, he was free from false prestige. He was upright, benevolent to all living entities, and well behaved. He would never speak nonsense or envy anyone. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So here Yamdutas are explaining the factual position of piety and impiety with the example of Ajamil and how loving it is entangled in this material world. So Ajamila in the beginning of his life was so pure. Hmm. What is the meaning of that? They are explaining now. Hmm. All these qualities. So real advancement in human form of life means one should develop these qualities. It was a reservoir of all good qualities, good character, good conduct, and good qualities. This is a real wealth. If you want to really be happy, then one should strive for these things. Mm. Firmly established in executing all Vedic injunctions, he was very mild and gentle, and he kept his mind and senses under control. He was very truthful. He knew how to chant Vedic mantras and he was very pure. Respectful to spiritual master, fire god, guests, and elderly members of his household. If one is progressing on the spiritual path, then these qualities will manifest automatically. Hmm. Of course, not automatically, by Krishna's grace. There are 26 qualities of a pure devotee, which are mentioned in the Bhagavatam also and other places also. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also describes. So our process is to make spiritual advancement. Hmm. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So more we become Krishna conscious, naturally all these wonderful qualities will be manifested in our life, personality. Hmm. And that will naturally bring joy in the heart. If we are not practicing Krishna consciousness properly, then what is going to happen? All these qualities will not manifest. Other things will manifest opposite to this. And when one is not actually manifesting qualities, because nature of the soul is to seek happiness. We will seek happiness through material activities. Today's world, their source of happiness is all this money, prestige, gratifying senses, fullest extent, uh, which is the cause of all miseries. Bhagavatam says, desire for unnecessary prestige and money is the original cause of all the problems of lamentation, fear, poverty, and enmity, so many things. So this knowledge is not given to the everybody is taught how to get more money, more prestige, which is the original cause of all the troubles in life. Means that making their cause very strong, suffering cause. Suffering are increasing, and the solution is what? Earn more money or more prestige. That means it's like fire is increasing. To stop the fire, you add more fuel in that. In the name of water, you are adding the fuel. Greed and envy and lust, they are all propagating such things. Mm. Through all these advertisements, what they are doing is various facilities for sense gratification. Krishna says that material sense gratification is a source of misery. Hey samsparsha bhoga dukkha yonaya vivete. Nobody realizes this. Everybody just talks about this only. Even devotees, when they are talking about, many times devotees talk about, if they are grahasthas, talk about how much money they are earning, you know, where their child is getting educated, which college, which school, whether it's prestigious school or not, how much the gadgets, possessions they have, house, how big house they have. These are the talks. No one talks about, how one's Bhagavatam reading is going on, how one's chanting is going on. Some people may be talking, but most of the talks are like this only. Actually, association devotees means all those pressures which people are talking outside, we should be released from such pressures. Nobody talks about those things here. Nobody cares for what is the financial status of other person, unless somebody has a really concern to help. Then only you can talk about it. Not to boost one's prestigious position that I am so like this and look down at other people. Just opposite to this. We should see our advancement based on these descriptions, even in the Shastras. What is the meaning of spiritual advancement? And sometimes devotees have talked about how much big project they are doing, how much finance, money they are handling, and through that how much prestige I am getting in the community of devotees. Not that temple is being constructed for the Lord or anything is done for the Lord, no. I am the center. How much my false ego is becoming boosted. Or sometimes people study scriptures to get. One devotee was telling that his one of the senior Vaishnavas spoke to him that he said, I am observing many devotees in our society are very eager to have these courses like Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, to get degrees, and they are becoming proud of those degrees. He said, better you don't do it. You just study nicely what Prabhupada wanted, but don't go for just getting the certificates and degrees. So instead of becoming humble Vaishnavas after studying Vedic literatures, they become proud. Now I am holding this degree, that degree. They are writing so and so with holding these degrees. The essence of everything is one becomes humble. Trunadapi sunichena tarorapi saishna. These are not to increase our false ego further. And the essence is gone. When we are actually not digesting the spiritual knowledge in our heart, which should produce wonderful qualities, then Maya is so expert that she will make everything turn into material aspects. Whatever we do, she will produce the material consciousness out of it. So that is how the danger in this material world is. Unless we are very alert, will be cheated by Maya. Anything we do. You may be giving Mahaprabhu's instruction following Jare Deka Dare Kaho Krishna Updesh. But in the heart thinking, how much janam I am getting, how many followers I am getting, how much dhanam I am getting, dhanam, janam, sundarim. Mahaprabhu has told both instructions. That you preach Krishna consciousness and yet be humble, detached from all those things. Not hankering getting followers and prestige in society, facilities. Hmm. Because when you become big Vaishnava, big man spend so many years, then you think now I have become very senior. Then I deserve prestige, I deserve recognition. I am doing this. अहंकार मैंने इसको भक्ति में खड़ा किया है ना. People sometimes say, मैंने खड़ा किया उसको भक्ति में, मेरा व्यक्ति है वो. Who are we yet? We have been given opportunity to render service and Krishna is giving us the credit. We should be simply grateful for everything what we are getting in our lives. That is real progress in spiritual path. Our heart should become soft. So in spite of having all these good qualities, Ajamila's heart was soft. He was free from false prestige and benevolent to all the living entities. Surut sadhuna. Sarvabhuta surut. He was not envious of anyone. Anusuyakaha. Ultimately, this is how one should see that we are. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that of all qualities, the most important quality is to surrender to Krishna. Sharanagati. In fact, if this quality is there, then all other qualities will manifest eventually. One is taking shelter of Krishna. Sharanagati. That is called Swarup Lakshan. Swarup Lakshan means out of 26 qualities mentioned, this quality, one quality is called Swarup Lakshan of a pure devotee. Means he is coming to his Swarupa back. Sometimes one may possess all other qualities, but if this is lacking, these qualities called other qualities are called Tatastha Lakshan. Tatastha means Tatastha, they are not the Swarup. They may manifest in the person who is not a devotee of the Lord also sometimes. So one should always see that our Sharanagati aspect is not is always nourished. Sharanagati is core devotional activities. Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam. These 9 activities should go on always. In fact, they should become the main nourishing activity in our lives. Then everything will be placed at proper places. If this is a nourishment is not happening, then we will naturally find nourishment in material activities. Shamanam, Kirtanam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, out of all 9, most important is Sankirtan. Tara Madhye Sarva Sreshta Nama Sankirtan. So in spite of having all other qualities, Ajamila fell down because he was not well situated in the Sharanagati. taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. So as long as one is not situated, there is a chance of always falling down. Firmly one has taken shelter of the Lord, there is no question of falling down. Hmm. He was very advanced, certainly. He was worshipping the Lord also. But we all have the previous lives' impressions, anarthas are there. So, unless one is reaching to the stage of prema, love of God, there is always chance of falling down. Hmm. Once you reach to that stage, there is no more fall down. So one should be always alert, not become careless. Hmm. So actually, if one really remains humble, then one will always be very careful. That false pride makes us blind. No, I know now things. I am advanced. I don't need all this basic, uh, what do you call, regulations. These are only for neophytes. And I can judge anybody. I can offend anyone. So all these things happen when a person is falsely identifying his spiritual advancement by his material progress. Materially, one may be given getting prestige in society. Oh, he is such a nice, great Vaishnava. Some people who are ignorant may be giving us prestige. But Krishna within our heart, he sees what is actually progress. Hmm. So unless one is very, very introspective, he may not be able to realize this. Or one is really taking shelter of Krishna and his devotees. They will help us to understand. That's why great Vaishnavas are like mirror. When you go to them, you can see your own spiritual image. How much we are really progressing in spiritual path. But they will show us only when we actually are humble and submissive. Otherwise, they will also not. If we are falsely proud, then they also don't. Like Arjuna, when he was speaking his own uh, things, Krishna didn't speak anything. Krishna was just silent. When he actually became humble, Karpanya dosyo pahata subhava, then Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, great souls feel that there is no use of talking if a person is not ready to listen. And when false pride is there, then this person is not ready to, is not open to accept things, closed. He thinks that he knows everything. Then that's the greatest danger. So when one actually becomes very advanced spiritual path, he is always uh, open to the instructions coming from the superiors. As mentioned here is, he was very respectful to his spiritual master and the guests and elderly members of the household. So these are the qualities. When you are respectful, very humble, then you will receive those, that mercy. Otherwise, the mercy is available, and if we are proud, then we will not be able to receive it, even if it is given. I know everything what I need in my life. That's why the Kali Yuga people, main problem is they are very falsely proud. With this material education, people are becoming simply proud. Jada vidya jara maya ravayo tamara bhajane bada. Why it is bada? Because they think I know things. Even if you are going to speak, sometimes people sit with their Google search what the speaker is speaking right or not. You know, immediately search out the things. They have so much faith into these material aspects that they cannot take shelter of anyone. Ultimately, they are taking shelter of Maya through this, all these things, because based on their limited intelligence, material intelligence, some people have designed all these things, and they can give you information. They can give you a lot of information of material life. Just like you can have a medical man uh, who can have a lot of information about what all medicines are there in his shop, but he cannot cure a disease of a person. There is required an expert surgeon for it. Right? Otherwise, medical people will become only, sometimes they give some medicines, but in spite of having so much knowledge about the medicines, they are not the doctors. Hmm. What to speak of the having so much information about material world? There is no connection to the spiritual things. So therefore, to find out a genuine uh, spiritual master or Vaishnava, and one should take shelter. An association of devotees can help us to know exactly what we need in our lives to make spiritual advancement. Shravanam, hearing means to receive. Prabhupada always says that submissive oral reception, receiving in our heart. Not to show up our scholarship, I know so many things. Receiving. Receiving means accepting in our heart, digesting it, digesting in our heart. That is how our characters, our spiritual advancement will take place. Not just academically collecting information to show up other people. That will simply make us proud. Romaharshan Sut was condemned by Balaram because of this attitude only. He collected a lot of information, disciple of Vedavyas, scrutinizingly studied everything, but he had not developed any good qualities. So that doesn't mean we should not study scriptures. Sometimes we think, oh, I don't want to become Pandit, I just want to remain simple. Yes, that's good, but then if we have ability, understand, then we should try to study scrutinizing the scriptures. Prabhupada wanted us. But at the same time, we should have proper mood. Uh, Proper mood is to purify our consciousness, to actually heartily glorify the Lord, glorification of the Lord. Whatever we know, we should be able to speak the glories of the Lord for purifying our heart further. Jare deke tare kaho Krishna Updesh, Mahaprabhu has told, because by doing that, our heart will become purified. Without wanting any prestige or money or the followers, when you do it just to purify and glorify Lord and purify our heart, then one will be a very joyful experience by this. So, moment you start calculating what I am getting, then everything becomes spoiled. I am getting in terms of material things. If you are seeing that I am getting purified, that's wonderful. That's why sometimes greatly saintly people, they warn us not to take such facilities. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had rules and regulations, how his people in the matha should behave, what all things they should not use. Many things, guidelines were given. Why? To protect them. Tukaram Maharaj also writes in his writing that when you go for conducting any spiritual programs, don't go for their just getting some facilities, honor, garland and food, nice food. Prabhupada also writes, sometimes we accept invitation of the rich man with the expectation that I'll go and enjoy nice food there. In Atyahara Prayasascha, Prabhupada writes this. This is called trying to satisfy the tongue. Hmm? Atyahar. Hmm. So Tukaram Maharaj also says that don't accept food where you go for kirtan. He says that. That means principle is that don't hanker for getting the material returns. And in his writing is so strict, he says, don't even ask for your animals. You are carrying some bullock cart or like that. Don't even ask for them also. That means don't try to get any material returns from your spiritual activities. Hmm. Sometimes if you want, ask Krishna that please give me that, but don't try to encash from your spiritual activities. Then one will think that the spiritual activities is producing, so-called spiritual activities, producing some results. Rather than purifying the heart, we'll become expert. Sometimes we become expert managers, fundraisers, expert, or expert speakers. You know. All these qualities will develop, but not becoming a devotee. You know. There are people who are very expert in fund collection. Anywhere they go, they can collect crores of rupees sometimes by their expert talks. Now our organization also has got such a prestigious position. People want to become part of this organization. So there are expert people collecting expert funds. Similarly, there are expert speakers also, who can give very wonderful, attractive speeches, and they can attract hundreds of people. That is good to make them attracted to Krishna. But then, as an individual, we should also see that whether my heart is becoming attracted to Krishna, my own heart. Otherwise, one may do things just externally, and like there was a one patient who went to the doctor. Some psychological problem he had. So he went to some psychologist. And he said, doctor heard from him and he gave some medicines and everything. After some time he came and he said, he said, still it's not working. So he give another different treatment. So 3-4 times he was coming and saying the same thing, it is not working. So doctor was giving them to different stages. This is not working, higher stage, higher doses. And finally, doctor told that now I am giving you the treatment which has never failed in my life. So I have applied everywhere, it has worked out. He said, what is the treatment? What is the solution? He said, you go to that particular circus and you watch that show. So there is a clown, he makes he can make laugh anyone. And those people have some problems like this, I have made them and they have heartily laughed and their psychological problems are gone. So that person told, I don't think anything will going to work in life. First he was telling like this. And when it asked, he got the solution from doctor, he said, it is not going to help me. And doctor said, no, you try it. I have tried it with many people. It has never failed. He said, never. I have tried so many things and it will not work. And then he was very much insisting, and then the person told, actually I am that clown. So it is not going to work for me. I am that person. So this is the situation. So when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, sometimes by Krishna's grace, we may attract so many people to Krishna consciousness. We may do so many wonderful things. We should not think that we are very advanced based on those things. We have to see our own heart, how it is becoming attracted to Krishna service genuinely, without wanting anything, any prestigious position, any sense gratification, selfless service to Krishna, out of spontaneous attraction, at least out of duty towards Krishna. It's I'm duty bound to serve Krishna. So this is very important. Every individual has to see that. Hmm. And in one sense, devotional service is very simple. Krishna doesn't want anything from us. He just wants us, whatever we have, use in His service to give Him joy. But the conditioned soul has such a business mentality, business consciousness. He wants to encash everything. Even if somebody charity I am giving, my name should be put down, and then I should get facilities, I should control, people should listen to me because I have given money. So all this consciousness is so much calculative every time. Something we want to encash from everything. That is the whole disease of conditioned soul. That's why in Bible it is said that if when your right hand is giving charity, your left hand should not come to know. What is the meaning of that? Don't try to encash from there also. Charity should be given for purification. It's everything. Yajna dana tapa karma na tyajyam karyam evacha. Yajna dana tapa karma pavanani manishinam. Krishna says that yajna, sacrifice, dana and tapa, austerity, should be performed for purification. Not like what Hiranyakashipu did tapa. For getting some material prestige, or not for getting some position in material world. Should be done for purification of the heart. Similarly, dan also, similarly yajna also. All these activities, our consciousness is to purify. Then one will be joyful. Everything else will come. What we are looking for, Krishna can send abundant those things. Krishna can give so much money for serving devotee needs that. He can give prestige to the devotees, can give everything is required. But if we are hankering for those things, we will miss out Krishna consciousness. Arana kariya mane asha. If we are hankering and doing things, everybody in this material world is having this fruity mentality. That's why the bhakti becomes very complex. Actually, bhakti is very simple. The humility means you are not thinking much about yourself. Means not much time about yourself. That is real humility. Humility is not simply thinking I am very fallen. Humility means you stop thinking about yourself much. As you are thinking about I, my likings, my desires, my ego. You think about how I can serve Krishna. If I-centered activities happens or my-centered, then one can get cheated by Maya. Maya always makes this. Oh, I am so great. No. If I is removed, or this Maya is removed from there, make Krishna centered. This Kanakdas said this, when he said, who can go back to spiritual world? He said, if I can go, I may go. This is English is little difficult to translate. He told in Kannada language. This I-ness can go, then I can go, he said. I may go, he said. What is that I-ness means? That we think ourselves as the center of our activities every time. And then Krishna's pleasure goes away from our heart. This doership mentality means I am the center. Well, Krishna says that actually he is satisfied by simple things also. We make the things very complex because of our desire for sense gratification, desire for prestige. Sometimes devotees think if I can earn more money, I can serve like that devotee. If I was more intelligent, I could have remembered more shlokas, I would have served like that devotee. You know. Because of this, I am not able to practice Krishna consciousness properly. That's why you'll find in devotional service all kinds of devotees. There is devotees who are like Kola Bechasri, they're materially nothing, practically. He was not very educated person, highly famous for. He was not having any wealth with him. He was not famous among devotees also. Devotees did not know him also. Only Mahaprabhu and few devotees may know him, but most of the devotees were not knowing him also. So materially, practically, he had nothing. Lowest income into the whole Navadip. Very poverty stricken. But he was such great exalted Vaishnava. And Mahaprabhu was asking him, if you want, I can make you Brahma or Indra for whatever you have done. He was not interested in those things. And there was a great devotee like Pratapadra Maharaj having so much big kingdom, so many soldiers, so much wealth, and managing Jagannath temple also as administrator, big position. Same consciousness. They were all detached. Pratapadra Maharaj was ready to renounce everything and become like Kola Bechasridhar, if that is required to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He so said, hell with this kingdom if I cannot receive the mercy of the Lord. It was not just for sake of saying. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the planet, completed his lila. Pratapadra Maharaj was like Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam for him. He fell unconscious. He could not do anything further after that. He wanted to leave Vrindavan. He left everything. So I was going to Vrindavan after that. Even having this big prestigious position, money and everything, their happiness was not this. Happiness was simple serving Vaishnavas, serving the Lord. That is Krishna consciousness. That if we can become simple like that, then you can handle the most complex this material world also. Krishna consciousness is like that. Otherwise, we will get bogged down. If you get more money, big positions, then everything goes into head. And you start imagining, I am such a big man, big devotee now, big person. Like Nahush, King Nahush, when he was put on Indra's position, he becomes so proud. Start disrespecting. He had not completed his 100 Ashwamedh Yajna, and at that time the present Indra was cursed. And then they wanted somebody to occupy position immediately, Indra's position. And he was the only one having 98 Ashwamedh Yajnas performed. Highest, apart from that previous Indra. So you need 100 Shatakrutu. So two demigods went and gave their credits to him, two credits. Initially was saying, no, I am not qualified, I am not completed. And then they gave him. So all these, sometimes this purificatory, these procedures are given, 100 you have to perform, so that he can actually become humble. The whole purpose is to perform so many sacrifices and everything, that he is expected to become humble. But it is not necessary kind situation all times. So he had performed 98, and when he was put in that position, he saw, now I am a king of the heaven, and everybody is there to serve me, enjoy. Started enjoying everything. That enjoying mood, he became proud, naturally. Started disrespecting everyone. And ultimately what happened was, he had to become a snake, serpent, for offending great rishis. So This is danger. When we become this, we lose track of Krishna consciousness, then all this Maya is very, very dangerous. One will glide down from the biggest positions. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had said that humility can protect us from falling down. Genuine humility means to you think constantly about Krishna. Hmm. Take Krishna's shelter. And this enjoying mentality has to be transformed into mentality to serve. Hmm. And the pride has to be removed by humble service without any expectations. Mm. Menial services should help us to become humble. So Ajamila, in spite of having all these things, still he fell down. Prabhupada says, what is our situation today in the world? He saw one bad picture, one bad scene, and his whole consciousness was spoiled. So we should understand there is a danger in this material world always. One cannot become casual in spiritual path. Actually, sometimes people want some informal, uh, enjoyable thing. So, actually, spiritual life is, if you really seriously practice it without any frivolous mentality, and it is giving a very soothing effect to one's heart. What soul is looking for. Moreover, you are sincere and strict in your spiritual practices in the right way, that will make our heart very soft. What, why our heart become hard? Because of same thing. Our consciousness is material. If we are really rightly performing spiritual activities, that will make our heart soft. Uh, by following right directions and being respectful, being humble, that will give us real joy in the heart. Otherwise, we'll try to look so-called joy, being overburdened by our spiritual practices. We think now it's too much. I need some vent for sense gratification. You know, becoming too much. If we are right with right spirit practicing, in spite of having done so many services, you will still feel very joyful in the heart. Mind, senses, body may be tired, troubled, but heart will be very joyful. So therefore, we need to balance our everything with our proper sadhana and also the menial services. Otherwise, the material nature is very, very complex. Uh, Always we get cheated by the Maya. Okay. Any questions, comments? ओके, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
ಹಾಗೆ